How to generate business broker leads. 6 proven methods, ranked by most expensive to cheapest. Let's start with paid advertising, which is the most expensive way to generate business broker leads. When most brokers think about paid ads, they're usually talking about Google ads or Facebook ads. Both can work, but both come with significant cost and complexity. On the Google side, many of the searches come from business owners who are already under pressure. Often they're dealing with challenges in their business and are looking for a fast solution. While there are certainly high-quality Google leads, a large portion of them tend to be lower revenue, lower EBITDA businesses, which may not always align with a broker's ideal listing criteria. Facebook is a different challenge. Facebook is more of an open ocean. You can spend unlimited money very quickly because success depends on constant testing. You're testing creatives, messaging, audiences, and offers just to collect enough data to see what works. That process alone can be very expensive. In most cases, paid ads require either becoming a marketing agency yourself or hiring one. That usually means spending thousands of dollars per month in management fees, plus ad spend on top of that. And there's no guarantee of success, especially early on. On top of the ad spend itself, paid advertising requires a lot of supporting infrastructure. You need landing pages, conversion tracking, lead routing, follow-up systems, and ongoing optimization. If any part of that setup is weak, performance drops fast. The biggest risk with paid ads is how easy it is to spend money without getting consistent, qualified seller conversations unless you already have experience running these campaigns. And when you combine that with the long sales cycle in business brokerage, you're often laying out large sums of capital up front and waiting months to see if you get it back. So while paid ads can generate business broker leads, they tend to be the most expensive channel to make work effectively. For most brokers, paid ads make the most sense once you're already profitable from other lead generation methods and can afford both the upfront cost and the delayed return. Paid ads work, but they reward experience, capital, and patience, not beginners. Okay, up on our list at number 2 is SEO. It's still very expensive, but unlike paid ads, the cost is front-loaded in time, content, and competition rather than direct ad spend. SEO can be a powerful long-term way to generate business broker leads, but it's rarely cheap or quick. To compete in this space, you're up against established websites, directories, and firms that have been publishing content and building authority for years. Breaking into those rankings takes consistent effort over a long period of time. Most successful SEO campaigns require ongoing content creation, technical optimization, link building, and constant updates. That means either doing the work yourself, which takes a significant amount of time and expertise, or hiring specialists to handle it for you. In many cases, that still translates to thousands of dollars per month, even though you're not paying for clicks directly. Another challenge with SEO is timing. Results don't show up quickly. It can take months before you see meaningful traffic, and even longer before that traffic turns into qualified seller conversations. During that time, you're investing money and effort without immediate feedback, which can be difficult if you're relying on lead flow to keep the business moving. There's also less control in the short term. Search rankings can change, competitors can outrank you, and algorithm updates can shift visibility overnight. Even when SEO is working, volume can be inconsistent, and the quality of inbound leads can vary widely. So while SEO can absolutely generate business broker leads over the long run, it tends to be expensive in terms of time, effort, and patience. For many brokers, SEO works best as a supporting channel, something you build steadily in the background rather than rely on as your primary source of leads early on. SEO rewards consistency and patience, but it's not a fast or low-cost solution. Okay, moving down the list. Number 3 is partnering with CPAs and wealth managers. This one is very different from paid ads or SEO. It's cheap, but expensive in time. From a cash perspective, this channel can be very affordable. You're not paying for clicks, ads, or impressions. But what you are investing heavily in is time and effort. These are long-term relationships, and they rarely produce immediate results. In many cases, partnering with CPAs and wealth managers means meeting in person, sitting down face-to-face, and taking the time to build trust. You often need to create pitch decks or educational materials that clearly explain how the referral process works, how you help their clients, and how they should position the conversation. The easier you make it for them to understand and explain, the better the chances of success. You may also find yourself working directly with them to review their client lists, helping them identify which clients might be appropriate to approach, and even helping them decide how and when to start those conversations. In reality, you often end up doing a large portion of the upfront work to get the partnership moving. There's also a significant amount of asset development involved. Between pitch decks, referral guides, follow-up materials, and ongoing check-ins, you can invest a lot of time before seeing any results. And even after all that, many CPA and wealth manager relationships never fully activate. Some never refer a client at all, and that's just part of how this channel works. That said, when these partnerships do work, the leads are often very high quality. They tend to come with trust already established, better financials, and a smoother introduction. But it's important to understand that this is a slow, relationship-driven channel that rewards patience more than speed. CPA and wealth manager partnerships don't cost much in dollars, but they can cost a lot in time before they ever pay off. Okay, moving down the list. Number 4 is texting and SMS, which is one of the lower cost ways to support business broker lead generation. From a cost perspective, texting is inexpensive. Messages don't cost much to send, and when used correctly, response rates can be solid. It's especially effective for re-engaging people who already recognize your name or have seen an email or missed a call. That said, texting has a major downside. It can anger some people and damage trust if it's handled poorly. Text messages are personal. When someone receives an unexpected message on their phone, it can feel intrusive. Even a well-intended message can create a negative reaction if the timing or tone is off. Because of that, texting works best as a supporting channel, not a primary outreach method. It's most effective when it follows another touchpoint, like a call, an email, or a warm introduction, rather than being the first interaction. Used thoughtfully, SMS can help move conversations forward and improve response rates. Used aggressively, it can do the opposite and hurt credibility. The key with texting is restraint. Fewer messages, clearer intent, and a quick path to a real conversation. So, while texting is a low-cost channel and can be effective, it's one where trust matters more than volume. Texting is affordable, but trust is still the real currency. Next on the list is email marketing, which is probably the most recognized and commonly used way to generate business broker leads. From a cost standpoint, email is relatively cheap. It's easy to scale, inexpensive to send, and it does work. Many brokers start with email because the barrier to entry is low, and it's one of the fastest ways to begin outbound outreach. The downside is that email is extremely competitive. Almost everyone is doing it. Business owners receive dozens of these emails every week, which leads to fatigue. Over time, owners become desensitized, and even well-written messages get ignored simply because of volume. Deliverability is another challenge. Even when emails are sent with good intentions, inbox placement isn't guaranteed. Messages can land in spam or promotions folders, which means results can fluctuate even when nothing else changes. Another issue is lead quality and exclusivity. When an owner responds to an email, they're often already in conversations with multiple brokers. In many cases, other brokers have already framed the discussion around aggressive or inflated valuations just to win the listing. That can put the opportunity on a difficult path early, before expectations are grounded in reality. Email also tends to produce more price-sensitive or comparison-driven sellers. Owners who respond are often shopping brokers rather than looking for a long-term advisory relationship, which can create more friction later in the process. So, while email marketing can absolutely generate business broker leads and remains one of the most accessible channels, it's crowded, competitive, and rarely exclusive. It works best when paired with stronger qualification and expectation setting early in the conversation. Email works, but it's noisy, competitive, and often starts the relationship on uneven footing. Last on our list is probably the most dreaded, old-school, boring method that no one wants to do: But pound for pound, it's by far the most cost-effective way to generate business broker leads, and that's cold calling. Cold calling isn't glamorous, and it's not fun. Most people avoid it because it requires consistency, repetition, and real conversations. But that's also exactly why it still works. We've surveyed hundreds of top business brokers across the country, and without exception, the most consistent form of lead generation they all rely on is cold calling. From a cost perspective, cold calling gives you the most control. You're not bidding in an auction, you're not waiting on algorithms, and you're not paying for impressions or clicks. You decide who to contact, how often, and what types of businesses you want to focus on. Cold calling also produces some of the most exclusive opportunities. You're often the first broker to ever have a real conversation with that owner, which means expectations are set early and correctly. There's no bidding war between brokers, no inflated valuations, and no marketplace dynamic driving the conversation. Yes, it takes work. You need systems, lists, and the willingness to have conversations that don't always go perfectly. But when it's done consistently, cold calling creates predictable lead flow at a lower cost than any other method on this list. That's why, despite all the new tools and platforms available today, cold calling remains the foundation of effective business broker lead generation. So that concludes our list: 6 proven ways to generate business broker leads, ranked from the most expensive to the cheapest. Cold calling may be old school, but it's still the most reliable way to generate exclusive business broker leads. If you want to implement business broker lead generation through cold calling without doing everything yourself, there's a well-known company in the industry that many top brokers already work with called Center Growth. You can click the link here to learn more about how they do it.